Hello everyone, welcome back to 20 Names. My name is Estrella, and every Friday I upload a new name list. Today's list is a sequel to last week's Targaryen list, and it is inspired by House Stark. Of course, I could have used the names from the show like Sansa or Snow, but I wanted this list to have a subtle relation to the stories so that it's not so direct. So let's get started. The first name that I have for you is the name Connor, spelled C-O-N-N-O-R, and this name is an anglicized Irish name meaning lover of wolves. And if you know the story, you'll know that the Starks have wolves and love them and have a very deep relationship with them. It is also their house sigil. Which brings me to the next name, which is Connell, spelled C-O-N-N-E-L-L, and its origin is Celtic Irish, and this means strong wolf. The next name that I have for you is inspired by their house slogan, which is Winter is Coming, so the name is Winter, spelled W-I-N-T-E-R, and this seasonal name is one of the most subtle that I have on this list. So next we move on to the not so subtle name, Axar, spelled A-X-A-R, and this is a Gujarati, I believe that's how you pronounce that, name in origin, and it means ghost. And I chose to put this name on this list because it is the name of a Stark male wolf named Ghost, and he's a white wolf. So that is the name Axar. Which brings me to the next similar sounding name, Axton, and this is an English name meaning stone castle. So the Stark home is actually a stone castle, fortress looking place. So I thought the name Axton would fit perfectly, and there are a lot more fortress names on this list. But first we have the name Eowyn, spelled E-I-R-W-E-N, and this is a Welsh name that means white as snow. And of course I chose this to reference winter is coming, and the north where the Starks live. Next, I have the name Cian, spelled C-I-A-N, and this is an Irish name that means ancient, and this is in reference to the Stark line, which goes back to the age of the first man, which makes their bloodline ancient. So again, that's the name Cian. Next, we have a similar sounding name. It is the name Arian, spelled A-R-I-A-N, and this name is Welsh for silver, and silver is the color of the Stark house sigil. Next, we have a familiar name from the show and stories. It is the name Nymeria, spelled N-Y-M-E-R-I-A, and this is the name of one of the Stark daughters' wolves. It is also the name of a legendary female from Dornish history who led her people into battle and won. Next, I have another familiar name. It is the name Lyanna, spelled L-Y-A-N-N-A, and this was the name of a said-to-be beautiful woman who gave birth to a prophetic outcome. Again, that is the name Lyanna. Next, I have a name that is in honor to Lyanna Stark. It is the name Rose for Lyanna's favorite flower, and this is spelled R-O-S-E. Simple name with a subtle relation to the Game of Thrones stories. Next, I have a much more directly symbolic name. It is the name Raven, spelled R-A-V-E-N. Ravens are so symbolic in Game of Thrones, but in this case, considering the Stark house, raven or dark colored hair is a signature feature of the Stark house, which brings me to my next name, Grayson, spelled G-R-E-Y-S-O-N. I chose this name as an ode to another Stark feature, which is gray eyes. At number 14, I have a very interesting name, which is the name Griselda. It is a Teutonic name meaning gray battle maiden, and it is spelled G-R-I-S-E-L-D-A. Gray, again, for those gray colored eyes, and battle, because Starks go into battle often, and gray again for their wolves, also their house sigil. In relation to the color gray, it has many ties to the Stark house, which makes this the perfect name for a Stark girl. And then I have another Teutonic name. It is the name Nordica. Nordica, spelled N-O-R-D-I-C-A. And this name is perfect for House Stark because it means from the north. And with its Teutonic background, it ties well into the story's medieval style. Next, I have another fortress name. The name is Vivica, spelled V-I-V-I-C-A. And this name is of Scandinavian and Old German origin, and it means war fortress, perfect for Winterfell. These next two names are probably my favorite pair on this list. At 17, I have the name Carowyn, spelled Caerwyn, Carowyn, and this name is an Irish and Welsh name of origin, and it means White Fortress. I thought this name was so applicable because White Fortress is such a great title for the Stark residence, which is called Winterfell, and Carowyn is probably the more feminized version of the name Cadwyn, spelled Cadewyn, and again this name is of Irish and Welsh origin, and this means white battle. So these two names and their meanings, having white meaning snow or cold, but also for White Walkers because that's where the ultimate battle takes place, at Winterfell, which makes Winterfell both a white fortress and a white battle place. This next name I love so much because the sound of it is so beautiful. It is the name Icelyn, spelled Icyln, and this name is of English origin, meaning ice. I chose this name to honor the Stark father's sword, which is named Ice. And finally, at number 20, I have the name Liadan, and it is spelled Liadan. And this name is of Irish origin, and it means Grey Lady. I thought this name was pretty clever because not only does it have the word grey to incorporate the Stark eyes, features, and the sigil, but also Lady because one of the Stark daughters, Wolf's name is Lady. So it is an ode to that wolf, Lady. And again, that is the name Liadan. So that is all that I have for House Stark. I hope you enjoyed these names that are spin-offs or inspiration of the house itself instead of being direct copies of the actual names in the series, so that if you are a fan and want to use a name to honor the series, you can do so without it being too obvious. Or I hope that you've just discovered some new names that you've never heard of before. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I will be back next Friday with another name list, probably a Celestial name list or another name list inspired by Game of Thrones. So please stay tuned for that, and thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.